Hello, everybody. What day is it? The 12th? It is August 12th. It is our Tribe Redefine and Friends team call. I have a crying 3.5-year-old upstairs because Sissy gets to be on the call and he does not, and he's not happy about it. So I'm probably going to have a crying 35-year-old soon. Um, Anyway, let's see here. Today I have for you 5 things that are going to determine your success that come from a Jenna Kutcher podcast. Maybe you listen to the podcast, but I tried to link each one to a business activity. That's also going to relate to our action hour. So when I get into that, if you can take notes, it'll help with the action hour. If you can't take notes, Stephanie, you're driving, please don't take notes and crash. I don't want to be responsible for that. Then just watch the recording and do the action hour at another time. It's totally fine. But I also wanted to share a couple of the tips from the webinar that Jackie and I attended today on growing your email list, just because it was timely. Her tips aren't revolutionary, nothing that you can't find online for free, but they were good enough. It was something with Amy Porterfield. So if you see an ad pop up for doing her email building webinar, don't bother. Jackie and I did it, and we will be happy to share with you anything beyond what I share tonight. If you have any current Success Club points, please put them in the chat and I'll be sure to call you out for those. If you have a coach you would like to shout out, you're also welcome to throw that in the chat. Or you can unmute yourself at any point and just be like, yo, shush, I have something to say, and tell us all about it. I would like to shout out Heather. I know that Teresa's shouted her out before, but she has taken on every of the mini actions that I've put into Tribe Redefine. She is rocking it in our challenge group. Her Insta's on point. She's just full on fun. Just like Leanne, kind of right out of the gate, just owning her position as a member of this team far and wide. And I just think it's beautiful. So thank you, Heather, if you're watching this, when you watch this, for your continued efforts. They are not lost on me. So way to go, girlfriend. Let's see here. That's okay. Don't worry about it, Leanne. We can imagine you in that black screen. Jackie's at Success Club 4. I love it. If anyone else, you can toss those up and I will call them out as such. So first, I'll just start with the Amy Porterfield trainings. She really talked about growth being directly related to your email list. Teresa's at Success Club 2. Good job. That it's very important that we nurture our email list while growing our list. So continuing to add value, continuing to reach out to people. And a few things that she thought were really important, there were 3 of them. To define, to create a lead magnet, and then finally to attract. So first off with define, it's everything we've talked about. It's defining your avatar, who you can serve, and then how you can serve them. One of the tips I really liked, and we've been taught this to talk to people, to gain followers and friends on Facebook perhaps, is to go into Facebook groups or in Instagram, go to profiles of people you like so that you're getting that similar avatar. But she took it a step further and it was so intelligent to me. And she said, go into these Facebook groups and pay attention to the questions people are asking. If you're in a mom of toddlers group and repeatedly people are asking about the snacks to offer their kids, that's the freemium that you should be giving. That's the value you should be giving. If you're in a, dog moms group and people are constantly talking about, where's the best dog park? Where's the best dog park? Whatever. You can do a dog parks of the tri-state area freemium where you just give them, all this information in one site. So coming up with a way that you can not only just use those sites and those groups and those profiles as a way to gain an audience and to gain followers and friends, but paying attention, doing a little digging to what it is they're talking about, they're asking and they're sharing pain points, and that's what we can do to deliver content to those people. The second, once we've done that digging and done that research, is to create that lead magnet. She defines a lead magnet as a valuable piece of content you give for free in exchange for name and email. We've heard Shalene call it a freemium. Other people say a freebie, a bonus, whatever. She said that what these need to be is something quick. They should create quick wins that feel doable, but also make the person be like, wow, they gave this to me for free. So there's kind of like she gave a lot of examples. It was cool to kind of see all the examples of the freemiums that she gave 10 examples for everything that she talked about. So it was worth it to see that. But she's like, you want to do maybe a 3-day challenge for saving money. So maybe the first day they get a video and it's on tips to, you sell what you have in your house. And the second day there's a video for ways to change around your interest rates on credit cards. And then the third day is a video of going through all of your cable bills and getting rid of the cable things you're not using. And she said, but that's doable. A 7-day challenge for free over email, maybe not so doable. People are going to die off. A 30-day challenge, not so doable, but that's the next level stuff you can start delivering to them. So it should provide quick wins, like one cheat sheet with 10 tips for getting kids to go to bed without screaming at their dad, as opposed to a week's worth of sleeping boot camp. Like, that's not worth it for free for you to create. So I thought that was really fascinating. All right. Is there a new chat? I'm not seeing. I'm not sure. Okay. I don't know, it blinked for some reason. Yeah, so focus on the pain points. Think about the 3 things your audience is always asking you. That's where you can create your freemium. So if they're always asking you for, low sugar snacks, workout moves for the core, or whatever, how you meal prep, those are the 3 types of freemiums you're going to create, tips for those. So pay attention to that as well. You want to make them say, I can't believe this is free. And finally, the last thing you want to do is to attract your audience. And that's what we do on social media. We can use guest posting, which is fun. It's where you can reach out to perhaps, like I know Teresa's done matchups with local businesses where she's done giveaways with them, but perhaps you ask them if they could share one of your posts on their Instagram. Or if you have a blog and know another blogger, maybe you want to swap posts within their blogs, and in there embed a Google form or a MailChimp form or some kind of lead magnet where they can join your email list from there. I liked that a lot. And really, but she said the most important thing is Instagram stories. Instagram stories, live video, that is king. Getting your face in front of people, showing them who you are, that's how they're going to know you best. And that very much leads into what I wanted to talk about from Jenna Kutcher. So in Jenna Kutcher's podcast, and you can go listen to her give this podcast, it's the 5 traits that she believes lead people to success. And she said something that reminded me of the Jade Simmons training from Summit, where Jade says, you have within you everything you need to achieve that goal, to do that thing, to be successful. And if you don't, it'll show up right when you need it. Like, it'll happen if you're working towards that goal. And that's what Jenna said. She goes, these 5 traits are in you. You just might not be utilizing them right now, but you're all capable of doing these 5 things. It also reminds me of my favorite coach, Julie Voris. She always calls these the things that take no talent. Drinking your shake and posting about it every day takes no talent. Friending people on Facebook takes no talent. Following up with people takes no talent. And that's the stuff that builds a business. And that's what this is. They're things that take no talent. They just take practice. So number 1, and these are going to relate to our action items. So if you could take notes, that would be grand. If not, rewind, pause, whatever, so that when it comes to the action item, you can do this. The first thing she says we need for success is confidence. And instead of telling us what we need to create confidence, Jenna goes into what we don't need. And that's to compare ourselves to other people. And it's interesting, this keeps popping up for me. It's kind of where I've been living this week in my challenge group. It's funny because I've, been in that space of comparing myself to other coaches' successes, other coaches' efforts in relation to mine, or teams in relation to mine. But this week, I've been comparing myself to the challengers in our challenge group, Leslie being one of them, because I am a competitive person by nature, but I am not feeling good, been traveling, whatever, and I chose to do the 100-day plan for 80-day session. For MM100. Leslie's on the 60-day plan. So of course she's going to be 13,000 workouts ahead of me. And that's fine. But my brain is like, catch up, girl, catch up. Like, why can't you do that? That's where my brain wires itself. And I have to be confident enough to say, I made this decision. It's fine. Leslie made her decision. It's fine. Her ability to do that and my ability to do this have nothing to do with each other. And that confidence has a lot to do with our social media and our conversations with people. When we show up, just be how we are without worry about other people, it's going to make a huge difference. She also said that one of the things that you want to think about if you're looking at someone and comparing yourself to them is this, and I thought it was so cool. She said, and everything else I relate to our business, but I liked her example the best, so I'm going to share it with you. She said she once saw a photographer that she always followed, because Jenna Kutcher started off as a wedding photographer, if you don't know that. There was a photographer she had been following for a while on Instagram who was shooting a wedding in Paris, and she was like, that's it. Paris wedding going on my vision board. I want to shoot a wedding in Paris. How freaking amazing is that? And then she thought to herself, do I really want to do what it takes to get a wedding in Paris? And she said, since this moment, and she did this exercise I'm going to walk you through, she said she does this for everything she realizes she's comparing herself to, and then determines if it's really for her or not. She wrote down everything that photographer would have to do to get a Paris wedding. Not just be high profile and be hired, but probably travel for 5 or 6 days away from their family, have to acquire an international work visa, have to carry all of their photograph equipment onto the plane because you don't want to check that and have their checked baggage, work all day and not be able to really enjoy the city, have to go out the day before scouting out locations with a photographer's eye, not enjoying the city. All of these things that made it like, yeah, no, that really sounds like no fun. If I'm going to Paris, I'm going to Paris, not to shoot someone else's memories. And she said that ever since then, she finds herself in the way getting comparison-y to somebody else. She talks about that in her own brain. She takes out a notebook. She writes down, okay, this person's at this rank. What do they have to do to achieve that? Can I do that? Am I willing to do that? Cool. Keep comparing and use it as a goal. Not in my style? Then why am I comparing myself? I'm wasting my mental energy. So think about that when we're looking across the table at people who are rank advancing or having a team or running calls or not running calls or whatever, it doesn't matter. There's always something we're able to compare ourselves to. If you find your brain wiring in that direction, just think if it's worth it or not. The second is a dual. So the second step for success is to have discipline and consistency. Both go hand in hand. Are you going to be able to set a goal and stick to it? Are you going to do the work it takes to achieve that goal? Some of the things in our business, the take no talent stuff, daily power hours or action hours, or just working in our mom cracks. Taking tips from last week's recovery points that I gave you from Brittany Leggett, putting them into practice so that you've got this place in this stuff in place. Jenna Kutcher talked about how she went on a 3-month maternity leave from her business after she had her daughter Conley, and you would never know because she still aired 2 podcasts a week, and she still published on her social media every single day because she prepared for it. She batch recorded podcasts. She planned out for all of that so she could enjoy her leisurely time. We would never know she was on maternity leave. Sorry, punching you in the head, Kaden, because she prepared for it. It's just like the recovery mode stuff we talked about. When you're disciplined and consistent, you can have moments where you personally aren't showing up as well, but everything is working already because you've got automatic emails being sent out. You've got your challenge group posts scheduled. You've got a success partner to lean on. All of these things can really work. And she also said that if you really want something, you'll find a way to consistently work towards it. So ask yourself this question. Do you really want it? Because if you say you want it, but you don't want to stand up there and do the work, you don't want it. It would be a wonderful glorified recognition, but you don't want it. I remember Josh Coates mentioning this at one of our Super Sundays when he was speaking. He said, everyone leaves Summit and they look at Danielle Natoni on stage and they look at Melanie Mitchell on stage and they say, I want to be on stage. What people really need to say is, I want to work as hard as they do to get on stage, because there's a big difference there. And I thought that made sense. There's something I want you guys to write down. This isn't a long-term action item. It's not like the item for tonight. But I want you, and maybe by the end of the call, if you could leave this in the chat, I want you to think about something you will do consistently for the next 7 days that will move your business forward. Maybe it is committing right now to doing an action hour every single day until our next call. Maybe it's going live every single day. Maybe it's taking 10 minutes every single day to develop that freemium. Maybe it is adding 10 people to your email list every single day, come hell or high water. Sending cards to challengers, leaving a voicemail for a challenger every single day. What is something you're going to do for the next 7 days to move your business forward? And once we hit that 7, we're going to try to push it to 30. So think about what that could be. And we're going to move on to number 3 after I take some tea sips.
Really?
Jackie's going to invite to coaching and learn more about Insta Story ads. You are learning. It's a lot to learn. I love it. Okay. The next step, the third one, is to own your oneness. What makes you you? The why behind who you are and why you show up. Because what do the 6 of us on this call right now have in common? We are Beachbody coaches. We have that in common. But somebody should go to each one of our Instagram profiles and have a different experience. They're going to see a sassy little toddler chick when they go on Jackie's page. They're going to see a little boy in pajamas when they come on my page, right? They're going to see Leanne and her coffee and her mom and her church and things like that when they go to her page. They're going to see something different when they go to our page. If they were to see us in our TBB hat that Teresa's wearing in every single post on every single one of our Instagrams, we are going to blend in and no one's going to care. But it's the people who all weekend message me. I've never had so many people message me about the same topic before. And it's funny because Kellen's been in pajamas for like a year and a half, I think, running on a year and a half. But this weekend, it must have hit home with people because I just had one person after the other message me the same sentiment. God, I wish everyone would live their life by their own rules like him. God, I wish everyone had the confidence that kid had. My God, to be able to throw on your pajamas and walk with such sass, it was weird. Like it just kind of like hit people because that's the experience I've been cultivating with them just by sharing my life. Your unique oneness, your crazy kids or your crazy working life, your career, your kids' tryouts, your everything that we have going on is what makes you you. So allow that to shine much more than the Beachbody stuff. And that's what people are going to be drawn to because your avatar is the person you were before Beachbody. It's not a person doing Beachbody. You're not going to sell to them. So you want to remember to promote who you are, your unique oneness. One of the things she said you can think about is asking yourself these two questions. Who do you want to serve? And what can you do to serve them? I like to say, who were you before? And what did you need before, right? Who were you before you joined and what did you need before? Who were you before Morning Meltdown and what did you need before Morning Meltdown? Who were you before Shakeology and what did you need before Shakeology? You can answer that question 100 different ways based on the 100 different products and services that we provide. But keep asking that question and make sure that's highlighted in your posts. There's also a quiz. I haven't looked at this yet. I was just re-listening to this podcast about an hour ago. I listened to it last week while I was on the plane, hadn't taken notes. So I haven't taken this quiz. I'm hoping it's a good one. It probably leads to a purchase program with Jenna. So I'm not promoting that. But it's secretsaucequiz.com. And she said that'll help you unload what your secret sauce is, your unique oneness, if you're stuck as to what it is. But if not, just ask us and we'll tell you exactly who you are. Because we know so well. Just kidding. Number 4 is mindset. One thing she said we have to remember is forward is forward. Nothing happens to us when we sit and wait for it. Nothing happens to us when we wait for it to be perfect. Started is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. I know we've talked about this last week. It keeps being a resonating factor on all of the calls we listen to because it's true. Melanie Mitro and Josh Coates and Jenna Kutcher and Angie Lee and Bob Heilig and every single podcast I listened to last week wouldn't have said the same thing if they weren't on to something. We just need to get ourselves out there and have the mindset that how we are showing up every single day is meant to be. And this very much wraps into your unique oneness. It's being okay. Like this morning, I did my morning motivation totally sick. Yesterday, I did it totally sick. That's who I am today. I'm not going to fake it. I didn't put makeup on. I didn't blow up my hair. That's who I am today. And having the mindset that I need to show up like this, my followers deserve it. I deserve it. That's important. Something that she said that we should do is, have a support system. And that's something that I really encourage all of you to do. We have a couple different threads that we're chatting on during the day. We meet up in the morning and share our goals before we do our workout. I have Nicole as my success partner. If you don't have a Team Beachbody, Tribe Redefine, Team Fit Dynasty, whatever support system or support person, we got to make that happen for you because magic happens when you have that person. Because when you're feeling like that mindset isn't coming as naturally, having a success partner or having a pod that you can lean on and message and be like, my God, all my invites are falling flat today, really makes a big difference when someone can speak some truth into you, give you some tips, help you see yourself. We are not our best mirrors most days, especially when our mindset isn't coming as naturally strong. So surround yourself with that. We're happy to be that support for you, but you need that. It's really, really important. And she said to really consider, there's a couple things with that mindset one, to make sure we're living in an abundance mindset rather than a scarcity mindset. And this relates kind of back to the freemium that we talked about with the Amy Porterfield trainings. We want to give people all the things we know. and not worry that we're giving it all away. We want to coach people practically for free because we always have more to give. We want to share all the recipes we can because we can always share more. I want to, have a conversation with somebody that Teresa's also talking with so that that person's more likely to join Teresa because I know there's plenty more people who will join me. When we have an abundance mindset and it's not like, never mind, I'm not sending her that recipe. I've given her too much. That's when our business starts to close off. That's when our followers start to close off. We live in this scarcity bubble and we're afraid to burst out of it. But when we have enough to give, and I mean within boundaries, don't go bleeding out just so that everybody in the world has a recipe for overnight oats, right? Give yourself some space and some time. But don't be afraid to share what you know. Don't be afraid to give value to people. You always have something valuable. People are always looking to us for something of resource, whether it's a laugh, whether it's a good tip for all natural tooth whitening like Teresa gave me the other night, whatever it is, we always have something that someone else doesn't know or needs. So never be afraid to give too much. Never be afraid to pass off a customer to somebody else. When you have the ability to see an abundant mindset, it's always there for you. That's happened with us, Teresa, right? Like we tend to talk to a lot of the same people. Even a coach I just signed last week, she messaged me. She goes, I just want you to know I introduced myself to Teresa today. I'm like, great. She's like, because I just really adore that. I'm like, great. Like we have a very similar wheelhouse. Great, because we're fueling each other in that. Once we were able to work in connection with each other, it helped both of us so much. So don't be afraid of that. It's a beautiful thing. When you can give and serve everyone, it serves you in return. The last one is the ability to put yourself out there, which also relates to Amy Porterfield's attract term, which is to go live, to be vulnerable. I know that everyone on here has had a vulnerable post or a vulnerable Instagram story that's landed with people. I know it. And whether it landed with them and they bought a challenge pack the next day, or it just made them become a believer in you, that's valuable. And that's meaningful to our business. And that's going to help us grow. Because when we see this as a way to help people and not just create points and not just create rank, so much can happen. There's always points we can earn. There's always ranks we can earn. Serve the people around you first. And be as vulnerable as possible. Be as open as possible. What I would like for us to do for our action item, and it's going to be a bold one, and it might take us a little time. It's okay if you have to excuse yourself to do this. I want you to look at these 5 traits: confidence, the ability to be disciplined and consistent, the ability to own your oneness, having a strong mindset, and the ability to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to be raw, to be real. Identify a person that you follow, a person that you know, that really hones in on one of these traits. So someone you know that just exudes confidence. Someone you know who's disciplined in their habits, whatever those habits may be. Someone who's completely uniquely them. Someone whose mindset just radiates, it emulates off of them. And someone who is vulnerable and real and raw and honest on their social media or just in real life. And I want you to send them a coach invite. Okay? Don't be afraid now that I said those words, now that you've had those people in your mind, like, no, I can't do that. What the hell? Why not, right? Maybe they'll just take it as a compliment. They should take it as a compliment. We've done something like this before. It's just really nice when you can speak into someone and be specific and be like, hey, on our team call tonight, we learned about these traits of successful people, just successful people in life. One of them was confidence. I was tasked to find someone I know who exudes that, and it's you. And what that means is I think you'd rock being on my team. And I'd love to have you. I'd love to have you be on the call with us next week so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. If not, take the compliment, but just know you're the most confident woman I know, and you'd make a great coach. Done. Did someone type that out? Because I need you to send that to my people, because I liked my words there. I might have to go back and watch my recording. So find your people, share in the chat what you're going to do for the next 7 days. Kaden, do you know who you're going to invite tonight?
What?
I forgot to tell Kaden what Jackie said. Jackie said you're going to be president one day.
What?
Better than president. Don't be president. Just run the world some other way.
Be the queen of the world.
Yeah, for real.
I'm joking, Kaden.
I'm not. You're definitely going to run the world, Kaden.
Can I go Google Slide?
Google Slide? When I'm done, we're going to bed. This girl makes Google slide presentations for fun. I don't know where she came from. Steph, you need a partner. Does Leanne have a partner?
I don't have a partner. I don't think.
I mean, Jackie, do you have a success partner? No.
Do you, Mom?
I've been talking to myself. I don't have one either.
All right, we got to work on this. I'm writing these names down.
Write them down. I'm down for whatever.
I know that
Someone else was looking for someone too.
Laura Morris's coach, Stacy, needs a partner, but Stacy was like kind of taking a little time to herself at the moment, but I know that she was looking for one too. All right, Jackie, Steph, Leanne. All right, we'll pull some people. I know my coach Natalia was interested too. And I'll check on Nadine. All right. We can do like a draft. Goal. I need to actually set aside time each night and dedicate it to inviting. I also need to really start exploring using Instagram hashtags more. I'm doing these things, but not consistently enough. Awesome. One thing I'll say that we've talked about on our Wednesday morning call is the need to create social media training time for yourself. So it's something someone suggested at Summit, Melissa McAllister, that one day a week, giving yourself a half hour to an hour to dive into social media specific training. Go to Social Media Hub, go to Social Media Examiner. There's podcasts for it. The Shalene Show often has good podcasts, or not Shalene Show, Build Your Tribe with Brock and Shalene has good stuff on Instagram stories and hashtags. Social Media Network is a podcast. Social Media Examiner, Angie Lee Show are good ones for social media. But what I've done is I've earmarked the time after our accountability call on Wednesdays. That is my time to do my social media training. But the hashtag rules and algorithms and all that stuff's constantly changing. So we want to stay up to date on that. As a business owner in this market, it's important for us to do that. I just want to send these messages to all of you. I didn't take a picture. I keep forgetting. Come in here.
What?
Come in for the picture. Yeah.
This is so confusing.
I'm going to stop recording because I'm going to send voice memos. Anybody have any shout outs or anything before I stop the recording, or any questions you have? Nice. Kept it to a half hour. I'm proud of myself. I don't know how. There it is.